I don't know what we can talk about in this nation without talking about white superiority, honestly.
Who defines the meaning of God also defines the relationship between economy and God.
African Americans spent $1.3 trillion last year, making us the 16th wealthiest nation in the world. Why have we not turned those riches into wealth to develop our community?
Peace, family. I hope everyone is having a good day so far, a good evening. You know what? I'm just so excited. I see you guys in the chat are also excited to to hear from Dr. Bayyinah Bello. So this is going to be great. She looks beautiful too. I tell you, she always looks beautiful every time she comes here. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I just want to, just give a little shout out to everybody in the house. I see Ronnie, and I have to say, Ronnie Capresh, he sent me a picture of a book by Asa Hilliard about the Maroons, and he was like so excited. So I'm so happy to see he's in the house tonight. Rashamela, Afwa, DM, he's our Hapi staple, and live from planet Earth. So before we get started, which brings me to, saying these people's names because they're always supporting us. If you could please like and share and subscribe to our pages, okay? It's hapifilm across all the social media platforms, all right? We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Okay. Now it's super important that when you hit the YouTube subscribe button, that you hit the little notifications bell. That way, as soon as we go live, like you'll never miss anything because you get an alert saying, hey, hapifilm is going live. And then you can at that point decide to, tune in, which I hope you do, or save one of these Hapi talks for later. But at least you're like notified right when it happens. Because sometimes we give away like certain things and but you guys like watch it like late night. And so watching it late night, then you don't get a chance to partake in whatever we're giving away. So it's super cool if you guys can just make sure that you hit the notifications button. Okay. So make sure like, subscribe, and share on all our platforms. And Woo Back Baby. Oh, I like that name. Thank you so much for the cash. For the super chat. I'm gonna come back to the super chat too. But thank you so much. That's what's up. You're getting the party started already. That's what's up. All right. Now, the Hapi film. If you do not have a copy of this film or have not seen this film, please head over to our page at hapifilm.com. Okay. You can get all types of stuff. I'm gonna put it up there right there. You can get our DVD, the Hapi DVD. You can get a digital copy, or you can get a DVD. We also have other DVDs there. We have Taki Grant's first two films that he did, the Tekken and Nubia. Well, Nubia first and then the Tekken. That's on there as well. You can get all type of Hapi gear. We have t-shirts, posters. And the other thing you can do is sign up for the newsletter. So the newsletter is super important because this is like our way of staying in contact with you and sharing important information. And when you do all of these things, this is all part of the Hapi movement, right? And so the first thing, if you want to be part of the movement, you have to actually see the film. Everyone thinks we just have Hapi talks, but we actually have a full-length documentary that is 2 hours and 12 minutes long, filled with 30 of our scholars. Okay, so let that sink in. 2 hours and 12 minutes, 30 scholars are up in this film. So it's super important that you that you see the film so that looking at Hapi Talks gives you context in terms of just where we're coming from and really being part of the movement. Which brings me to my next thing. Now, if you haven't seen the movie, but you actually are going to be in one of the cities that we're going to be touring in, then you can just buy a ticket. Now, we kicked off our Hapi City tour in my hometown of Detroit two Sundays ago. And it was fabulous, okay? It's the first of 6 cities that we're going to be visiting. Our next place is the ATL, Atlanta. We are coming to Atlanta on October 23rd at 6:30 at the Riverside Epicenter. Okay. So far we have a really cool panel discussion, because to see the cool thing about these screenings is that when you come to a screening, there's also a panel discussion that follows. So we're going to have Jabari Ozazi, Taki will be on there, Ken Kelly, who's also a producer of our film, but he's like the CEO of First Independence Bank, which is one of only 21 Black banks left. Okay. And we have some other little treats. We're going to announce the other people a little bit later. But, so it's so important that when you get your ticket, that you're seeing a Hapi film, but then you're also part of this panel discussion, which is really nice. And plus, we want to see you. We've only been seeing people on Zoom and on StreamYard. We want to actually see people in person. Okay. So it'd be really nice if you guys come through. We will be in Atlanta, like I said, on 10/23. Then the following week, we're going to be in Philadelphia. Then the following week, on November 6th, we're going to be in Houston, Texas. Then we're going to wait a couple weeks. We're going to head to Washington, D.C. on December 5th. And then we will culminate our tour at Bridgeport, Connecticut on 12/18. All right. So it's very important, guys. If you're in one of those cities, just come through. It is going to be fabulous. Okay. But if you're not, you can still see the Hapi DVD. I mean, you can still get a Hapi DVD. You can download it. As soon as you're done with Hapi Talks today, you can just go ahead to our hapifilmrighththere.com and sign, and get your copy. If that way you can just see it like right away. So just it's very important that this whole idea of cooperative economics, it's the cornerstone of the Nile Valley culture. So the same thing must hold true for us today. Supporting Hapi in a real way represents the economic growth of our community. So don't be afraid to show us some Hapi love. And you can get at us already. Woo Baby already got with us this, she started the party off. But you can also go, and I'm gonna put this up. You can share love on our Cash app, which is Hapi Film. If you are in the super chat, meaning if you are, signed on and watching us through YouTube, you can actually just go right there in the super chat and send us anything. Whatever you send us, we actually take it and put it right back into the community. So you're supporting a small, Black business, which we in turn are supporting other small Black businesses. So, let's just keep the circle of love going and show us some Hapi love. All right. Now, the cool thing about our guest too, she is the latest and greatest addition to our One Africa Returning to the Source conference. Okay. Now, this conference, if you have not secured your ticket or your spot, we're taking a pilgrimage to Egypt, Kemet in February. And so I'm going to give you guys a little website so that you can, sign up if you have not yet, because the spots are getting very limited right now. And, we want to, make sure that people that want to go can go. There it is, ACAD Tours. So this One Africa conference is so major. We have the who's who of our scholars, historians, spiritualists. We have the cream of the crop coming on this tour. We have Anthony Browder, Dr. Wade Nobles, Professor James Small, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Rosalind Jeffries. We have Asar Imhotep, and we have Dr. Solange Ashby, and we have Mfudishi Juhutimis. Okay, and we have Dr. Bayyinah Bello is coming. So this is, I'm telling you, you want to be here. We don't know when this is going to happen, ever again. And it may not ever happen again, but it's happening in February. So if you have not secured your spot, okay, and this is a commitment. Like anytime you have to pay some money to go someplace and it's more than $100, it's a commitment. And I get that. trust me, I am bringing three lovely little young people with me, and this is a grip. And so we understand that, and we have all different types of payment plans. You can make your own payment plan. All the monies just has to be in by January 18th. It is so doable, okay? Because this is really a once of a lifetime type of event. A lot of us, didn't get a chance to go with Dr. Ben when he brought hundreds of people to, to Egypt. So this is like our time to be able to do this, and we can be part of this. So if you can make it happen, please do go to akettours.com and get your, it's $300 to reserve your seat. And then all monies have to be paid by January 18th. Okay. akettours.com. All right. And I want to also thank My Written Voice. Thank you. She's coming to the Cash App party right there. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So without further ado, we're gonna just get started with Miss Dr. Bayyinah Bello. Hey!
Hi, greetings.
Greetings. Alafia. I like that. You know what? You are the most, and I don't know if people know this about you, but you are like the most nicest person, but in terms of like very polite. Like sometimes, when you're texting somebody, you'll just like text like da 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 da, but you always have a greeting and you always end with an ending. So I really appreciate that. I just want to tell you that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Like very very polite. All right. Okay.
We say thank you to Marie-Christine Domerson, my mom. And we say thank you to my grandmothers, both of them, Sylvie Pougnier, Auguste, and Juliette. Both of these women, you could not go around them without a lot of please and thank yous.
Yes.
Or you get in trouble.
Yeah. It sounds like my grandmother. There's lots of please and thank yous. And, a lot of times I always think about her anytime I had to put on a dress, because it didn't matter if it was hot. She would make me wear pantyhose and like this, like it's past like a girdle. I don't even know what this little tight thing was. And I was like, I used to say, Grandma, I was like, I'm 10. She's like, it doesn't matter. You don't want anything jiggling. I was like, but I'm 10. I was like, I don't even know to have anything jiggling. But I tell you, pantyhose and that little girdle. Yeah. Yes. Grandma Jewel May. All right. So I'm really excited about this conversation because I actually have very limited knowledge about the Maroons. And so this is going to be really informational, not only for me, but I'm pretty sure for a lot of people in our audience. There's a lot of us like I said in the beginning, all week have been getting at me like, oh, I can't wait, to hear Dr. Bello talk. And so this is going to be, great. Great. I should have my glasses, but anytime I need them, I can never find them. All right. So we're going to get started with the first like kind of obvious question, but who were and are the Maroons? Oh, you're muted. I'm sorry, Miss Bello, you're muted.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so let's first look at the word. So maroon is a term that they used when those of us, Africans, refuse to remain on the plantation and do told. So some of us just find any way, by any means necessary, to dash off the plantation, find ourselves a place where there was nobody to tell to do. So anytime someone managed to do that, say, this person, this runaway, as they would call it here in, but said, that's a maroon. He marooned out of here. He's out. He's not under our rules. He's not under obedience to slavery and slavers. In all of our communities, everywhere, we always had maroons. Even though today, historians tend to use the term only in specific You know, they will talk about the Maroons in Jamaica, but they never talk about the Maroons in Haiti, but there were plenty of them. And the Maroons are in the United States. The person you call the runaway slave would be a runaway if he's caught. Then he's brought. But if he's not caught, you catch up with him. Then what? Who is it? He's a Maroon. You know, and some managed to run away and establish communities. So then, a Maroon village, you have regulations, rules as to how things are done, discipline and organization, but our own. We establish what we do. In Brazil, when they would run away, the plantation, then they were established in some of the quilombos. They would establish, some of them would decide to, from now on, we don't speak the Portuguese language anymore. We all children African tongue, and we all use African knowledge, African culture in the way we do things, in how we dress, in how we speak. That's what happened. So we create our own life. So the Maroon, that's the key thing we have to understand, is that a Maroon is not just running away, but you run away from what you don't want and you create the life you want, or the life you can create. And that is key about understanding a Maroon. When somebody says I'm a Maroon, you know, it means that, you know, this tribe, I don't approve of it. So I get away from it. I find a way, get out and go to the mountaintop, the swamp, and I create my lifestyle there. So that's the number one thing to understand. And when speaking about Haiti, many of our leaders were Maroon before they became general of the army, or they find their way out of slavery system. Some lived in caves, some lived on the mountaintops, some lived by the river, but no matter what, did a group of people, a village, and created their own lifestyle. And the Maroons have a lot to do with the revolution, because they would be the one to think a lot of things and then sneak back at night into the plantation to mobilize the people on the plantation.
Okay.
Some Maroons did not run away. Some Maroons stay on the plantation to organize and structure.
Oh,
So you
okay,
might
I like
see this
that.
person the day. The person is a real Uncle Tom. Yes, the boss. Yes, the boss. Everything you say, boss. Sure. And then at night, they're doing a totally different story. It's a leader that's organizing, that's mobilizing, that's doing, you know. So Marooning has many, many ways of looking at the term. You know? So the first step is being aware that you do not accept things as it is, and that you have the power to create something else. So that's what the level of Marooning is. Second level, get out of here. You know, for example, lots of women, pregnant women, would Maroon out of the plantation because they did not want their child to be born into this horrible structure where people are being tortured all the time, beaten for no reason, this, that, and the other. So at 6, 7 months, a lot of women ran away. And so their child would be born in a forest, in a place where all that slavery horror was not around. And that's the case for Dessalines, for example. That's the structure in which, you know, his mom ran away from all of this nonsense.
Yeah.
It's for us.
So, wow. Okay. So, in terms of like the actual word maroon, like what does so we know it means run away from, you know, run away for your, and you determine your own freedom. I like that. You know, like that's I would definitely be a maroon. Absolutely, 100%. But so where does the word originate? Like the, you know, like is it a Spanish word, or like just what's the origination of the word?
Well, when you take, if you say, you could say it's a Spanish words, okay? But then Spanish is made up of some languages, Latin, Greek, and much. So somebody else might say, no, 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 the origin is Latin, blah, blah, blah. And so we could go on and on as to, but I would say what Aloha told me once when I asked the meaning of voodoo. It says, in every culture, every language that speaks a word, you give it the meaning in that language. So it makes no difference was first sounds like what here, but it is what you make of it when you create it. Because you don't copy from another language, you know. It's, for example, in Haitian, we have the word l'école. Okay, in French, they have the word l'école, but it's two words. It's article and a noun. But in our language, it's l'école, L-E-K-O-L, l'école, and it's the structure where you go to learn. So it sounds the same, but our use of the sounds that we picked up, we give it our own, we give it our meaning. Okay, and you can understand culturally, a word like maroon never means to the person who's doing it or the person who feels that he's being cheated out of his slave.
Yeah.
Meaning cannot be the same. So what Portuguese view, how they, when they use that term, what they want to say, and when we pick it up, what we make of it.
Yes.
Nigger.
Yes. Yes.
You know, so-and-so says nigger to insult somebody, and then we pick up the word and say, hey, my nigger friend, how are you?
Yeah. Okay.
In language, you create and you give meaning to sounds. So no matter where it comes from, it doesn't have to carry the same meaning. Significance will be within the culture that it is being used.
Okay. All right. So have you heard the term is SE Maroon? Say Maroon or see Maroon? Have you heard that term or seen it around?
I'm not sure.
No. Okay. I just want to say just peace to Dr. Mayat. Maat. She's in the chat and I agree with her right there. Everyone in this chat is a maroon. Yes. And if you guys are not subscribed to her channel, please do. I mean, she has a bomb YouTube channel. Just put her name into YouTube and make sure you subscribe to her. Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. I mean, you just with that, you already answered like my first 4 questions. So, all right. So I want you to elaborate on the Maroons in the Americas. Can we start in North America and just work our way down south?
All right. In books, generally it's used for African or African descendants. But if you take the significance, the term as we use it, it'll be anybody. Seminoles ran away from the structure and arranged to this, well, Maroons. You know, people who will run away from an domineering, imposing, ferocious system is a Maroon. Especially when they structure their lives when they run away. They don't run away and handedly run into the woods. No. But you might run by yourself, but you get to the first place where there is 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 others. We organize ourselves. Generally for us, I know, of course, of the Maroon in Haiti and Jamaica best. And what we would do is once we went away from the system, we create a village. There'll be rules. Everybody has a duty. 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds have something they have to do. Some of them, if they're very good at climbing trees, then those are the children, the youngest children, the lightest ones, would climb off the top of the tallest trees to keep a watch on who's coming, if there is any threats. Older people will be teachers. They will be cook. They will take care of certain tasks. Never I have seen in no Maroon structure division based on sex. No. Competence.
Competence.
A good warrior, you're good fighter, then the leader of this group. You will train the rest of the fight. And this man is a great cook, then he'll be the one doing the cooking. This man will but whoever, it's all about competence. What you know, what you do best, that's where you will position within the Maroon village. The other thing about us in Haiti, especially Maroons, you're always ready to destroy every trace of your presence anywhere. So we build a village, we do everything we have to do to live. But if there is any threat, we destroy everything before going away. No trace. Anything we cannot carry with us will be eliminated.
Wow.
So these are principles that the Maroon lived by. And that's why, for example, Dessalines said after independence, it says, independence or death. You're not going to live submitted to anybody. Yeah. And if there is any threat, when the alarm goes off, destroy the towns and the nation is up. So that means the structures, the this and the that, we're not attached. The house that is yours, and in fact, he demonstrated it. He spent 10 years building a house. And at some point, it became necessary to destroy this house, but his wife could move into the house. And he wrote a letter to the other generals saying that, as I reflected upon how does one become a leader of a people determined to become free, I understood that you must not be attached to anything, nor rank, nor money, nor privileges. So this house that I've been building for the past 10 years, I just fired to it. My wife will be very unhappy, but that's life.
Wow, you know what?
So
that's deep. No one can hold you captive. They can't hold anything over you if you are, if you don't have an attachment to it.
Yes. So you can have everything you want, but don't be attached to anything. Because they make you, okay, we are both in a movement. They take me. They torture me. I still don't want to say where you are. And they say, okay, we'll do this, we'll do this to your husband. We'll do this to your mother. That's when you start to talk. The attachment is where they go to create treason. So that's, the Maroons, we solved this problem. We are trained as Maroon. We are unattached to anything. Money, privileges. We use it when we need to, and then if it's not there.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow, I can be. This is, I'm sitting here, and you know what? I have to be objective. This is an objective interview. Like I want to make sure everybody gets all the information out. But I'm literally sitting here thinking, I'm like, could I be unattached to like my kids? Like that's but we were put in those positions back then where we had to do it because it was about the greater good. Wow. Okay. Okay, you talked about this is a great next question because you actually brought up the Seminole people. So is it true that the Seminole people were Africans that married Red Tail Creek Native Americans and ultimately created the Seminole group?
Yes, actually, it's the Creek, the various groups of Aborigines, as they were slaughtering the onslaught of Euro Christians upon the various groups, the groups also began to join to each other. And as they joined, they got a new name. Every time, this group and this group got together, then we became the so-and-so. Then when that one and that one joined in, it became the this. Now they became the Seminoles when Africans joined. But among these Africans, it's also known that quite a few Haitians joined with the Seminoles.
Okay.
And yes, so the Seminole is a dog group, a darker group of Tainos in a certain way, we could say. Definitely very revolutionary. The Africans brought in a lot of the fighting fire to that group. Yes.
I like that word, the fighting fire, the fighting power. So, like, when was the first, like, Maroon to run off? To run off and start a group or a community. Like, when did this start?
I don't know that I could. As soon as these people, some of our folks analyze them and say, this beast don't want to be in its presence. And so some people marooned. But maybe generally, historians tend to talk. First of all, I said, they only talk about it with Africans. So that means all the Aborigines who marooned they don't look at them as such. Okay. These people like to say that a group of people have disappeared. Never happens. Dwindle. The numbers there dwindle, and then they reorganize, restructure with other group. And that's why we will find that in every language, you will find there are words from this language, that language, this language. We don't have, though there isn't a large population speaking that language anymore. But it has retreated into another group and has enriched another group. So all of that is Maroon type behavior activity. The Maroons are they are largely responsible for the structuring of the language, the Haitian language. They're more thinking time, reflecting time, analytic time to really look at things and make choices and determine a lot of things. So there are, and protecting, it is thanks to the Maroons that a lot of the large part of the African vocabulary within the Haitian language has, existed. Without some Africans running away from the system, we wouldn't have all the vocabulary we have today, and all the songs in Vodou, so many. You can sing for days in the Fon language or in Kikongo. How did we preserve it? You couldn't do that while you're beaten up on your back, while you're quick to forget in that structure.
Yeah.
So the Maroons did the preserving of culture, of language, of, tactics, strategies to survive.
Yeah, I mean, they sound like very highly tactical people, to be able to, go to, build a whole bunch of stuff up and then be able to leave no trace. Like that is, wow, like that's impressive.
Just imagine if we take the US as an example. I decide I want to run away, but I also know that when I run away, within a few minutes, they will see that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And there are 20 dogs that they will put after me. These dogs, once they catch me, they will tear me into 1,000 pieces and eat up all the flesh. So if I can look all of this in my head, I know that's the reality. I know last week they took Paul. I know 2 weeks ago they took Jane, and I know all this. And yet I decide I am running away. And I create a whole structure, create a road for myself, train myself. How fast can I get from here to the river? If I can cross the river, the dogs won't be able to smell me anymore. If I can climb this tree, this, that, that, that. If I can do this, if I could, it's a lot of work to manage it and stay alive. So we are not talking about the average person, the person who would decide to run away from that ferocious, atrocious, criminal Euro-Christian slavery system had to be huge inside.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I can't believe I've never heard this term. This is, well, I mean, I did go to school in the US. I was like, growing up, I was like, I did not hear about this. So like, would Nat Turner be considered a Maroon?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He decides to free himself by himself, and then to structure, to even stay the area. He didn't have a forest to run away to, but he ran away into a church. And he would preach, doing his marooning through the preaching. Of course. Yes. I am not at all, when I look at certain texts, people, when not trying to talk about Jesus, Jesus demands that you be free. Where did he get that from? When did Jesus say that you should be free? Okay. There's a lot of things, parables that we use in our language where we duck the reality of the horror that we were living. Yeah. All of our folks had to be, to some degree, function with a maroon reality.
Yeah. 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 And it's like they hid everything through like these parables and through, like you said, the religion. They hid, like the secrets on, yeah.
Of course. Some of the songs sometimes I'm listening to. Well, by the riverside, what's going on by the riverside? What was happening? But if we place the songs in context, we might see a lot more of the historical facts.
Yes.
Than what we think we're seeing.
Yeah,
we're looking at it. If we have to admit to ourselves, we've gone to the enemy's school. The enemy has conditioned us to look at things through his eyesight.
Yes.
But if you can do this work on yourself, free yourself from his vision, free yourself from his perception, and start looking at everything from your inner divine self, then the maroon will rise in you and you start seeing things that you don't know were there. The truth is always present, but it demands work in order to see it and identify it. And Maroons were key with everything. Like in organizing the Congress of August 14, well, they say 14, but it's really 13, it's in the night, 1791. In organizing this, it's all Maroon work. The key organizer, Cecile Fatima, took 4 years to organize a less than 1 hour meeting. 4 years of planning. Name can't trust any of the names you get because she created codes for everything. So you're not gonna go there, Alicia. No, you crazy? No. We call you Bluebird. You know, so anytime anybody asks you your name on your way to that meeting, what's your name, girl? If you don't say Bluebird, you'll be dead right here and there. You're not going any further. So there are code names. Places are not what they, people have all kinds of argument. Oh, we Bwakaima, Bwakaima. What does it really mean? Okay. Yes, there are woods in Haiti. Kaima means alligator. There are no alligators in Haiti. So how come we're giving a meeting? We're meeting in the alligator swamp or alligator woods.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
See? All the geography is reprogrammed with new words, with numbers, with names of animals. So that's marooning.
That's marooning. Yes. It's like you're using this, it's a verb and it's a noun.
Of course.
Like that's,
of course.
Wow.
And it's more than that too. And sometimes it will be an adjective. It moves, it's alive.
Yes. Okay, you brought up Cecile Fatima. That's how you say her name? Okay, yes. Yeah, because that was actually one of my questions. Who are some of the earliest Maroon leaders in Haiti? So she was one, and Makandal.
Makandal. Makandal.
Okay, can you tell us about? Go ahead.
Okay, Cecile Fatima is, as I said earlier, is the great organizer. Now, in history books, they always, they met at alligator swamp and they discussed what to do to come out of slavery, etc., etc. Now, the information I have, Cecile planned for this Congress to be held on 18 different spots, the whole length of the island, from what is now known as Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, to the tip of Haiti, the western tip of Haiti, Les Iwois, and organizing different forest hearts where people would meet. The timing had to be moving with the moon. When the moon is at this particular position, that's when the meeting starts. And when the moon reaches this particular position, that's it. If you don't have a decision, that's too bad. That's the end of your meeting.
Oh, wow.
So it's a well-organized thing. And everybody who was coming had a name, had a code name, or had a number or an animal name, whatever. You had something that was not, if somebody said Bayyinah, I would never turn my head when I was heading there. I had to know not to turn my head, unless I heard Snake Woman, or, whatever my name was.
Wow.
Okay. So they organized all of this in 4 years and then had that meeting to answer a single question. What do we do so our children and our grandchildren do not suffer the misery that we are living now? That's it. You want to explain how your master is not too mean? No, we don't want to hear you. What do you have to say? What do we do? What can we do? That's the question.
Action.
That's what happened that night, and that's largely the work of Cecile Fatima. Now, a man like Makandal was a different type. He knew a lot about leaves. And one of his big time saying, one of the quotes from him is that every leaf has two sides, one side for healing, one side for killing. So learn the leaves so that we can plan one night, all of you who cook, will cook a great meal for these wicked people, slavers, and put them all to sleep forever.
Mm.
That was Makandal's program, to train people to know the leaves. And so he wasn't going to go fight. He was just going to put them all to sleep. That's it.
Wow. You know, again, like I'm every day, I'm just, I'll just have like a revelation about something that we've done. I'm like, oh, they took that too. But now I'm just thinking about all this tactical knowledge that we brought, just the art of war, which is like the basis for like all of the, like the CIA, the FBI, like, NSA. It comes like from us. Like they wouldn't even know how to do half this stuff had we not, been so, if we had not been marooning.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also, by them writing the narrative of your history, you don't know what you did.
Exactly. I'm sitting here like, damn, well, we was getting it in, especially like the code name, Snake Lady. Like, this is, oh my God, we have to be doing this right now. Okay, wait, that's another question later on. But this is amazing. Oh gosh. So can you talk about Queen Nanny and Taki in Jamaica?
Queen Nanny of Jamaica. Queen Nanny is a fiercest warrior woman I know. Oh yes. If the Jamaica didn't become free before Haiti, it's not her fault. She gave it that. This woman put so much fear in the British that we found quite a few of their journals. They would write, what happened, how when they met, they went up to the mountain, and one of the things many British soldiers wrote in their stuff is when they would shoot a cannonball at Queen Nanny, she would catch it in her butt and shoot it back to them.
What? Damn. Okay, Queen Nanny. Wow.
Okay. So the woman, her brother Kojo, there were two of them. They were working together. But at some point, they asked them to come down for negotiation. We know that story well, still being used every day today. Come on, we're going to have a peace treaty. Come, let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
And so she refused to go. She said, no, these people don't know how to speak no truth. Don't need to talk to them. Kojo went down, and they made Kojo sign that they would make peace and they would not continue this situation, because they were whipping the British properly.
Mm.
And when Kojo went back and said to his sister, we're going to make peace now, I want a treaty, blah, blah, blah. She said, you signed, problem. I didn't sign nothing. So Nanny continued to fight. Kojo went about whatever the British gave him, whatever crumbs that he went for, and probably regretted it.
Yeah.
I am not certain how the Nanny, because there are so many stories about this woman, so many things that she has done.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are also many versions as to how she ended. As far as I'm concerned, they do not know. I suspect Nanny probably at some point decided if she estimated she could not win the situation, she took herself off the planet, which was a common thing for female warriors in Africa. That was it. Like the in Dahomey, the female warrior Dahomey, their motto was conquer or die.
Mm.
So if they are responsible to do something and it didn't happen the way they were supposed to, these are women who will take themselves off the planet with no hesitation. One such example is with King. Uh, hmm, his name is escaped me right now, in Dahomey. When he went and turned himself into the French, the 2,000 soldiers, female soldiers, who were ensuring his security, when he announced to them that he is giving himself up to they line themselves, take their dagger, and stab. Each person stab herself. Yes. Okay. My mission was to protect you, and you are enemy's hand. I have nothing else to do here. Okay.
Wow.
So generally the mentality of female warriors, and that is why in Africa, most rulers, knowledgeable rulers, always have women there for their security. Because when something goes wrong, the men around a man, everybody fetch for protect themselves. Everybody dash to protect themselves. When women are assuring the security of some chief, if there is anything, they cover that person. So they must die before this person is harmed. Because, well, one of the analysis is that the woman who is protecting you takes you as her baby. So nothing can happen to you until something happens to her.
Absolutely. Like, absolutely.
And we have, in this day and time, we have two big examples. Fidel Castro always had only women security.
I didn't know that.
And they tried more than 600 times to kill him and failed.
Wow.
Gaddafi had only women security until 2 years before he was killed. He introduced a few men to his security. So, marooning is, yes, about running, leaving a space and going into another space and creating what you want, certainly. But in order to do that, you have to have a marooning mind.
Yeah.
You have to understand that in your daily life, when you're not in a space that is friendly, you must be marooning to stay alive. That's part of resilience. That's part of resistance. So it's not just gestures, but mental structures that bring us to, when we're talking about marooning. So it could take many forms.
Yeah.
Many
You have to be committed. That's what I'm hearing is that you have to be committed to your freedom, and you have to be willing to die for it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes,
wow. Okay. Just a short little break. You guys, if you are liking this program, this is part of the movement. Okay, these Hapi Talks is part of our Hapi movement. There's 4 principles that we have right now. Number 1, love Black people. Number 2, support Black businesses. Number 3, become more financially literate. And number 4, teach the youth the truth. So, when you guys are, looking at these Hapi Talks and this programming, it's not free. Okay, we're just going to be, 100 with y'all. This is not free. So, if you can, please contribute to our super chat on YouTube or our Cash App, which is hapifilm. $hapifilm. You can also, go to our website, and we have a GoFundMe that you can also contribute to, if that's easier for you. But I will put up the Cash App. I'm so sorry. It's $hapifilm. It's really important that you guys, also like and share this video. Every time you like this video or you share it with someone, this word, like what Dr. Bello is talking about right now, everybody needs to know this, and it is not just about knowing it and say, oh, we just know this information, but then it's about action. And literally Maroons were about action. Okay. It was not, no one was pontificating and, you know, talking about how great it is to be a Maroon. They were putting in the work. Okay. And so these, you know, our Hapi principles are us putting in the work. And so, you know, part of that is, you know, all movements need a financial backing. Okay. And, you know, what other way but for one Maroon to help out another Maroon by, you know, helping us with any type of donation that you can give. And if you don't have anything, listen, like and share and subscribe to our, you know, to all of our platforms. That's another form of, you know, of payment for us. So if you don't have any cash, that's okay. Just make sure you are liking and you're sharing this video with as many people as you can and that you are signed up to our newsletter. This is wonderful. Okay. All right. So Dr. Bello, so you talked about Queen Nanny. And so what about Taki from Jamaica? Are you familiar?
No, I do not know Taki.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I saw something. I was just interested in the name Taki because Taki is the director and producer of, you know, of Hapi. And I was like, wait, what's going on in Jamaica? And so then, you know, I've been seeing some stuff come up on the, you know, around the internet. So I'm gonna have to get some little information and you know, and share that with you.
Yeah, we'll look forward to.
Yeah, we gotta find out what Taki was doing.
Excellent. Yes. Important.
Okay.
You see,
yes.
It's important that we know that our artistry been hidden for centuries, systematically, purposefully. Then when they cannot hide, they will take and they will twist, change, dilute. Okay? So the need to research is continuous. There is no such thing as, you know, oh yeah, I've done all the research. Oh, if I don't know it, it doesn't exist. No, not at all. We have to continuously be on the lookout and searching and reevaluating what we thought, whatever we took as truth 10 years ago. 10 years later, you need to go back to it, question it, analyze it.
Yeah.
You will probably discover a lot more than what you thought, what you first had. But it's research is a must for us. We must continuously. There is no I know it. It's I know what I knew last week and that's fine. But this week I have to question it, analyze it, put it under different lights, listen to what someone else, how someone else view it.
Yes.
All of this will enable me to grow because reciting is not knowing. Reciting is never knowledge. You become acquainted with the information, you work it within yourself. Each one of us have a perception that we can bring to it. Knowledge is dynamic. It's forever growing. Look at the world. You know, they used to say 3 planets around the sun. Then they said it was 7. Then they said 9. Now they say, it looks like there are 3 others that we didn't.
Yeah.
That's knowledge. And that's why in the African, we are never definitive about anything.
I like that.
About what we know, because knowledge is forever growing. As the spin, your knowledge should continue to grow. But you have to be open also.
Yeah. You know,
and you have to know how to maroon. It's not everything you know you run out and say it anywhere.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it seems like if you, I mean, you had to have code names, like you need to know how to hide some stuff. That's number one. But you know, you're so right, because I mean, there's books that I've read, you know, and I'm like, wow, you know, I've, you know, I really like this book and I got whatever I got from it. But then I'll pick up the same book like 5-10 years later, and sometimes a year later. And because whatever experience I've had, you know, up until this point, I'm looking at this book like I've never read it before. It's like I'm getting way, you know, like a whole different thing. Even music, you know, there's music that, you know, when I was younger, I was like, it's all right. Now I'm like, oh my God, it's so good, you know. So it's, yeah, I like that. It's, you never know it. You never know it.
Mhm. As you grow, your ability to go when you read again this year, you will get so much more out of it.
Yes. Okay, I want to thank Paula Johnson for her Cash App love. So now, Bookman, how significant was Bookman to the Haitian Revolution?
Oh, vital. Um, well, look at the name that we have for him. We have to also many of our people in a lifetime in within the ferocious Eurocentric Euro-Christian slavery system
Mm.
bore many names. Uh, Felicia buys me. She names me Marta. At some point, she doesn't want to keep me anymore. She sells me to Taki, and Taki names me Bobo. And, you know, so all throughout our lives, every time you sold, somebody will change your name, you know, give you some other name, do something, whatever. So we have to see that, oh,
Wait, you're frozen.
I'm not sure if it looks like we do have some. Okay. I'm sorry. Would you remind me what was the question, please? Oh, Bookman.
Bookman.
Yes, Bookman. All right. So one of the names that name Bookman is the name that went through time, but that's not the name he started out with. In Jamaica, he was not Bookman, but his mother seemed to have been quite a revolutionary woman. Or anyway, they felt threatened by her. And so to punish her, they sold her 13-year-old child, her only child that she loved a lot, sold the child ended up in Saint Domingue, which is today Haiti. So this child came with a Muslim book that was tied to his waistline, hidden. And when they noticed it, they asked him to give it. He refused. So the slave burned that book on him, burned him all the side of him was all burnt, you know. So, and to make it more fun for themselves, so they name him Bookman. So you keep the book? All right, fine. You're the Bookman. Okay. Now down the road, he's going by duty. But life is greater than any action of any human. So this man, within the Congress of August 13, is going to make a speech that's going to go through time. He's going to be the first one to officially to us. The one who created the sun, who makes the sea, the waves of the sea, who created everything. That's your daddy. That's your father. You're not a thing. You're not an animal. You are divine. That's what Bookman told us. Excuse me. So, Bookman is going to also tell us the way to initiate the fact. And he's going to tell us, look in your heart, listen to the words of
I think she froze. Okay. Wait. Dr. Bello? Oh, ah. Okay. Okay. She may pop back off and come back on. Let's see. Okay, while we're waiting for Dr. Bello to come back in, our beloved, happy cast member, our elder, our esteemed um, scholar, Professor James Small, had to have a little hospital procedure. Okay. And if you want to show him some happy love, you can donate specifically to Professor Small. And let me give you his Cash App love. It's right there, $ Dr. James Small. And which will go a long way, and it would be super helpful to him. You know, when people are out here fighting for us, and sometimes we don't even know like what they're doing behind the scenes and why we have so many things that we have today. um they a lot of times they had to fund these things by themselves, and they were not able to be in the system because they were really out marooning in a whole other type of way. you know and so it's important that if we can, if we share share the love and resource and money with them. So if you could please show Professor James Small some happy love by donating to him, and that'll help him get a more speedy recovery, because he's going to be at our event in Kemet. And so important, he's going to be at that One Africa conference. And we want to make sure that he's there and feeling good. So you can please send him some happy love right there at $ Dr. James Small. Yep, we're waiting for Dr. Bello to come back on. So while we're waiting, I want to thank Billy. Thank you, Billy, for the Cash App love. David Murphy, thank you. Yes, Afua. Yes, she bounced off, and so she's gonna come back on. She's trying to sign back on. Anytime when we get in this little information, some little stuff always starts popping up. Things not working. We're already in this this Mercury retrograde. I tell you, it doesn't matter. We're gonna keep on pressing. We're gonna keep on pressing forward. We are doing a Hapi tour. We already have one city down, Detroit, my hometown. We are now going to the ATL. We'll be in Atlanta on October 23rd at 6:30 at the Riverside Epicenter. So make sure if you are in the ATL that you come and bring 2 people. Okay, you got to come and support. It is going to be fabulous. We're having a panel discussion afterwards. And we have some, Taki, who is the director, producer, executive producer, and writer behind Hapi. He's going to be on the panel, as well as one of our Hapi cast members, Jabari Ozazi, and one of our, actually 2, we have Kenneth Kelly, who is also the CEO of First Independence Bank. And he's also, I forgot to mention, he's actually the CEO or the chairperson of all the Black banks. And there's only 21 left, okay? But he's also one of our producers on our film, and he's also in the film. So he's going to be on the panel as well. It's going to be bananas. I call it Black Atlanta. Black Atlanta is nice. It's always been good to us. So hopefully you guys can make sure you come out, support, and thank you, Afua. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you. But yes, we are going to be in the house in the ATL on 10/23. Then the following week, we're in Philadelphia. Yep, October 30th, we're going to be in Philly with our. Actually, he's one of our contributing editors to the newsletter, Omawale Africa. He is from Philly, so he's going to be in the house on that day. And we have Jabari. Actually, Jabari is going to be rolling. He's going to also be on the panel discussion, as well as myself. Ifudishi Juhuti Miss is going to be on that panel discussion. So it's going to be It's fire. And the cool thing about Philly is that you can actually go on a tour at the University of Penn. I'm sorry, not the University of Penn. It's the Museum of Penn. The universe, excuse me, it's the Museum of Penn, the Art Museum. Okay. Jabari is hosting a tour. So you can hook up with him at 2:30. He's gonna take you around the Egyptian, wing, which is anytime you can get someone with so much knowledge to take you around and tell you things about pieces and stuff like that. Just take the offer, and it's very inexpensive. But he's doing a tour first, and then when you guys are done with the tour, it'll be time for you guys to head to the theater and watch us, and watch Hapi, and then a panel discussion. So that's, really cool. And you can find, if you just go to Eventbrite, just type in hapifilm, it's right there, or go to any of our social media platforms, and you will be able to get a ticket for that, because it's really, that's fire right there. If you don't have the time and you just want to see the film, you can also just purchase a screening ticket and panel discussion, all together. So after that, we're heading to Houston. Now in Houston, we have Asar Imhotep, which is super cool because he's also like the youngest presenter at the One Africa Returning to the Source event that's going to be happening in Kemet. He's going to be on the panel along with Dr. Wade Nobles, who is also presenting in Africa. I don't know these two brothers who are also in Hapi, they have so much information. Trust me, if you're in Houston, you need to be in the house. And Taki is also going to be on there, on that panel. So that's going to be great. And that's 11/6. November the 6th. So that's going to be great. Thank you, Leo. Leo is always supporting. Thank you very much, Leo Wright. You are always supporting. I see you on all of our social media platforms, which I really appreciate. I love reading you guys' comments. We love your likes. But it's really the support when you guys show up in this chat room, which is it's like heaven. So thank you. Carlos. So Carlos, we are going to be at the Riverside Epicenter in Atlanta. Okay, she's back. Yay. Yay. Okay. I tell you, I was telling everyone, anytime we are marooning, it's always some drama with this technology,
Very true. It's something they don't want us to know.
Absolutely. Okay. So you were in the middle of telling us about Bookman.
Yes, ma'am. So his brilliant speech that brought us back to divine self, because essentially that's what he says. While that says you're not people, you're not even animals, you're this, you're that, then Bookman comes and say, the one who created everything you see there, the sun, the moon, the sea, that's your dad. And he demands that you free yourself. And he asks you to listen to the voice of liberty that speaks right within your divine self. So people were mobilized, were crystallized by that speech. And a week later, the fighting began, the structured fight. And in less than a month, the entire system in the North was totally dismantled. The French couldn't have no boats. They couldn't have no sugar cane and sugar, and everything was disrupted. And ultimately they killed Bookman. And to threaten the rest of us, they put his head, impaled his head on a pole with a big sign, Bookman, chief of those who revolted against us. Oh yeah. Well, as we pass by and look, we say, okay, don't worry, Bookman, we'll carry on. They thought they would have us being afraid. But as we pass by, we say, okay, they'll pay for this. And of course, others came behind Bookman, and the fight went on till we got to Toussaint, got to Dessalines, and until we finished by beating Spanish, British, and French out. We take our land and declare our independence. So he is the one who came, Bookman came with the sacred words to remind us who we were. We are not slaves. We are the divine ones. And we are duty, it's our duty. Listen to his name, Bookman Duty, the man of the book of our duty. Our duty is to be free. And Bookman is the one who reminds us that. That's a divine duty that we have, to always be free.
That's a divine duty we must have. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about, as you're talking, because you've been dropping all types of stuff. And I keep looking at the time, like the time you said it, and jot it down, because these are all quotes. Dr. Bello, you're going to be your quotes are going to be all up on our page right for the next month. You said something about truth at 7:45. And then before you said something at like 7:26 about death. This is, yes. This is great. Oh God, this is great. Okay. Man, yes. I tell you, you always bring the fire. You always bring the fire. Always bring the fire. So now, so can you just talk to us about the resistance in South America? Because you talked about it a little bit, like in the beginning. Like, were there anybody notable that we need to know?
Oh, sure. We Dandara from Brazil, a powerful woman who worked with Zumbi. But there are many. There took a whole line of great African warriors who did a lot to free our people in Brazil. Of course, it's not part of the regular history, what they would call regular history. Of course, their version. In fact, some of our people in Brazil established what they call quilombos. It would be like the Maroon villages, Maroon states even, because in some cases, these are important populations. More than 10,000 of our people would run up to the highest mountains and establish their state there, did everything that had to be done, plant, feed, teach our children, whatever had to be done. And it lasted over, some of them existed for over 100 years before the Portuguese would mount the kind of force, ferocious force necessary to go up there and destroy the quilombos. But there were several, but one of the key women warriors is Dandara. Yes. Zumbi was also an important. Ganga was another important fighter in the structure. One of the things that I appreciate particularly with Dandara and Zumbi, after a particular battle, they won. And one of the soldiers said, well, this is Recife. Recife is the capital of colonial Brazil. So this is Recife. We could go in and take the capital. And Dandara said, no. If we establish ourselves in that capital, our mind will be invaded by the slavery spirit. And soon we will find ourselves having slaves too. No. You don't go and sit or establish yourself with slavers, in structures that slavers had built for themselves.
Yeah.
And think you could be in that. That doesn't work. So I thought that was a very powerful, but she's a fabulous woman. And when they came, they tried to take her, even though she was getting old and everything, she was fighting. When they tried to take her, she went to the top of the mountain and dropped herself down.
Oh
Didn't
gosh.
allow them to capture her.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking about these people out here now, that are out here killing each other and stuff like this. Like they don't have a clue about really what death is, you know. And these people, they they literally laid their lives out for us. Like they put their life on the line for us to be okay. And we
Yes.
have to really, we just have to. I mean, I can't even get my words right. I'm looking in the chat. I'm seeing everybody saying "wow, wow." I was like, let me just say "wow" because I can't even. I mean, like this is so amazing. And it's not like I didn't know that we had the spirit, but you're giving us more language. You're giving us more examples, and I hopefully we can start to see ourselves and really like pick up the pace. Like we need to be kind of out there fighting at a whole different level.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
now remember the king, the Daomean king, whose name I couldn't recall,
Hmm.
Beanzin. King Beanzin of Dahomey.
Okay.
He had over 5,000, an army of more than 5,000 female. And the female army was the most powerful army. And yes, things that the female army could do, like there was no discussion with the king. When a female warrior said, "King, this way," that's it. There is
Yeah.
none of the male warriors or military folks could come in the presence of the king with their weapons. They had to leave their weapons outside. But the female warriors were always armed wherever
Mm,
they were.
mm,
So
mm.
there's a lot for us. You see, if you know, Dr. Wade Nobles puts it best. He says, know your history and you will erase the mysteries.
You know. Yes.
We're
Yes.
acting out of ourselves because we do not know what we have done in the past.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
We get depressed because we don't know our power that lives within us.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm very happy that you chose this subject for us, the Maroon, because it is a side, a very hidden part of our history. And they play all kinds of games with the word. Depending on who is marooning, they will use a different term. They only use it if it's African. There are a whole bunch of tricks.
Mm. Yeah.
So it's necessary to remove all these nonsense that they cover the word with. Understand, anyone who is in a captivity, the structure of captivity, who manages to free themselves and establish another structure that is good for them, that's a maroon. Very simple.
Wow. Um, yeah, I have to credit Taki. He gets these revelations, which is nothing more than ancestors talking to him. And he'll just like it could text him coming at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, da, 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 we gotta get her, da, 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 and so it's like we always say this when we're doing this work is that it's not us. I mean, we're like doing, but we're just actually doing what we're told. you know, Ancestors are very clear about what needs to happen, and we are just listening. And
That's
when,
it. Being
yeah, because,
obedient is key.
yeah, because this is, I am blown that I knew nothing about this. And I'm not afraid to admit that because everyone thinks that like you said, you don't have to know. But I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I didn't like. Someone said they had a T-shirt with this on. I was like, I didn't know it. Like, wow. But I'm so. I tell you, I have so many books I've been reading. But I gotta read more about this. This is fabulous. Okay, I have just two more questions for you. With this. So, and you said you talked about a little bit when you talked about what Nat Turner did when he would go into the church and he was preaching, but was African sacred science used in our war of resistance? And like, how was it used?
First of all, we have to understand that our science is not over there. Okay, over here is mathematics, here is science, over here is history. No. As we live, everything live with us. So African sacred science is part of why we breathe the way we breathe. And we understand things. It is part of why when I raise my head and I see it's a full moon, a number of things come to mind. I need to do this. This is the full moon. You need to do this. You need to do that. I look and sun shining, or I see a rainbow. All of this is part of me. These are different expressions of myself with me, guiding me in the flesh. In the flesh, I'm very limited. But our science is not something that you do on the side on certain occasions.
Yeah.
So in everything that we do, when you decide to run away, I'm sure there's a dream. There is some information as to what you should look out for, a tree, a this, a that.
Yeah.
If you get up and it's a bird, the first thing you see, it's not the right day to run. Wait. If you get up and the sun is this way, or the moon, or this or that, and yeah, that's how. So our science is cosmic. So every part of ourselves, we get involved with all of ourselves. Give you an example. I used to be someone who a few drops of rain would make me sick. Anytime I get caught in the rain, just a couple of drops, the time from the car to the 2 days, 2 weeks in the bed.
Wow.
And then I was told, okay, the next rain, take a chair and sit down and stay there until the rain stops. I'm gonna die. What is this? What kind of medicine is that? So I did exactly that. Next rain, I thought it would be a little rain. Sat down, then it got a big strong rain for 2 solid hours. I was in the rain, drenched. Do you know since then I haven't caught a cold?
Wow. Wow.
So, but someone else, I'm sure people who saw me sitting out there say, oh, she's doing some of that voodoo stuff. Okay?
Yeah, they don't know.
So our sacred science is cosmic. There is a moment walking in the sun or walking in the rain or talking to the rainbow, whatever. Every part of it is part of us. And our science is all about communication.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Wow.
So
wow.
It's not anything strange, bizarre, or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bizarre to me at all. You know, I was smiling when you used the when you said if we learn the history, it erases the mystery. Okay, so it's so funny, and I love that you guys give credit to Dr. Wade Nobles about
1 minute. Please forgive me.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, while Dr. Bello is attending to something, you guys make sure you are liking and sharing this video. This is so good. Oh my God, you know, so good. And also, you know, like we had mentioned earlier, that Professor Smalls had a little procedure. He's doing fine. He's just resting and getting strong for the pilgrimage to Egypt. If you want to contribute to him, you can cash app him at Dr. James Small, and I'll put that up there for everyone. You know, yeah. Professor Small is he's recuperating. But you know, so you said that the thing about the mystery. I mean, knowing your history erases the mystery, and you credit Dr. Wade Nobles for it. So Professor Small, he uses the same analogy. but he puts like different spins on it. One time is if you know the history, it erases a white man's mystery. But he's always like adding stuff to it. So I just smiled when you said it, because I was thinking, I was like, wow, you guys, you elders are tight. I love it, love it. You guys respect one another. You love each other, and it's so apparent in every time we have an interview with you guys. And everyone speaks so highly of each other, which is really, it's very nice. It's very nice and genuine. So thank you for that.
We are children of the sun, and we are all striving for the freedom of our people. So what is it that we're going to, what's the problem? There's no competition. We learn from each other. We all grow.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no two ways. And by the way, I send all kinds of great energy to my brother, Professor James Ball. And that's one thing, we all can help someone heal with just the right thoughts.
Yes.
You don't need to be a special somebody you have, but if you take a few minutes and concentrate with that person in your mind, and you sending them the right thoughts, the healing thoughts, that's a great gift. And all of you have it. You can do it. So I hope many of you will be. And it's even better if we do it together. Let's say we say 7 a.m. tomorrow. We'll spend 7 minutes sending that healing energy to Professor James Small. All those who want to join us, I'll be doing it. And we'll put our brother faster on his 2 feet.
Yes, yes. Okay, so everybody, tomorrow, 7 a.m. for 7 minutes, we are concentrating, and we're going to send Professor James Small all the love and healing power we possibly can, because this he is he's very special. Special to not only us, to to his family, to everyone.
That's right.
So our last my last question is, how do we recapture the spirit of resistance?
Questioning is the first step. If you just wander through life, whatever they say, whatever anybody say, they say, oh, today, blah, blah, blah. I hear, for example, at home, sometimes people will announce in Haiti, oh, there's going to be a hurricane, blah, 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 blah. My first reaction, we don't need that. If it's announced, I block it. Go back to wherever you were. Go to people who need you. We don't need that. Okay? And many times, everyone will be saying, oh, it's going to be at 3 o'clock today. Blah, blah. I said, no, there'll be nothing. And sure enough, there is nothing. So don't swallow everything they send your way. Don't accept, even with a doctor. I go to a doctor and the doctor say, oh, I think you're going to. I said, no. Mm-mm. Not for me. That's your business. It comes out of your mouth.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I do not allow people to send their garbage my way. Remember, words are energy. And if you're receiving negative energy, it will transform you negatively. So you must block when somebody's coming your way. Oh, you can't do this. You can't. Mm-mm. That's time to stop this conversation.
I love that. Yes.
So use your magic, question things, and make intelligent choices for yourself. Don't flow, or everybody's doing it. That's the worst reason for doing anything.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with you. So what? So if everybody goes to shoot themselves, you're going to shoot yourself too? No. Make choices for yourself. Choose what is right for you. Your inner self knows it. Take the time to think it through, question it, and make your choice and live with your choice. But don't follow no crowd.
Yeah.
Be you.
Yeah.
Be your divine self.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, Dr. Bello, you're wonderful. Thank you. I just appreciate you, saying yes to having this conversation with us tonight, saying yes to the One Africa conference in Kemet. That is going to be powerful. Oh my, it's like I feel like the words are going to even be more amplified. All of you guys are going to be together, and then you're going to be in Kemet. Like it's just like a megaphone of positivity happening in Aswan next year. It's going to be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be great. And I thank all of you for listening, for giving your attention. And as an elder, I bless each one of you. And I beg you, if you're not feeling well, don't give into it. Whatever you are not, whatever you feel is not right, decide, what must I do? Sometimes all you need to do is drink 2, 3, 4 glasses of water to get rid of certain ailments in the body. Or 20 minutes, 40 minutes of sunshine. These are great medicine.
Yes.
Or deep breath. Take 10, 15, 21 deep breath. All of these medicine you can give to yourself, prescribe for yourself, and get yourself back. Exercise is also very good. Body needs movement. The worst thing we do is sit for 2, 3, 4 hours. Get up, take a walk. If you get yourself together and remind yourself, you are of divine essence. No one can determine your destiny unless you fail to determine it yourself. So assume your divine self and go on and take care of our planet. We are the guardians. Thank you very much. Have a blessed evening and a good week.
Thank you. Thank you. Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe-o.
Ashe-o. Dr. Bello, if you don't mind, just you're going to sign out. I mean, but don't sign out. Just stay in the back for a minute. I'm just going to close off the show, and I just want to just tell you one thing before you go. So when you sign, you just don't sign off all the way.
All right. So
All right.
what do I
Thank
say?
you so much.
Do I say
Yeah,
leave to do?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to remove you from the screen,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and then I'll talk to you. All right. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys, listen. We got a couple lessons tonight. Please make sure you are sharing this video. Oh my gosh, this has been so inspiring. It's been so we've learned so much information. It's time for action. It's time for action. So make sure before you sign off to us that you have liked this video, you share it with somebody, you comments help as well. Thank you for all of you guys who have contributed to our to hapifilm. And the Cash App or the Super Chat, you can do that. And our Cash App is right there, $hapifilm. And also, I want to remind you guys of a couple of things. Make sure that you are signed up to our newsletter, okay? And you can, get all that information by visiting us on hapifilm.com. You can get to sign up for the newsletter. You can support us by, visiting our Happy store, where we have not only the Happy DVD, but we also have other Happy gear. So it's one-stop shop, hapifilm.com. You can do all this stuff there. Also, we are going to Kemet. I saw somebody in the chat was like, y'all want to Kemet? Yes, we're going to Aswan. Well, we're going to a bunch of different places, but we're having the One Africa Returning to the Source conference. That's going to be in Aswan, Egypt. And we have limited availability left. We had 2 trips originally. We had one trip that sold out like in 4 days. And then we had another trip which sold out. And so this is our last trip, but all 3 trips will be all together for the One Africa conference. It's a 2-day conference in Egypt. And we're going to have Dr. Bayyinah Bello there, as well as Dr. Wade Nobles, Professor James Small, Dr. Leonard and Dr. Rosalind Jeffries, Asar Imhotep, Ifudushi Jehutimus, and Dr. Solange Ashby, and Anthony Browder. All of these people are going to be at this One Africa conference. It's going to be magnificent. Please, if you can make it happen, just go to ACAT Tours. You can put down a $300 deposit, and you have until January 18th to pay it off. You can do it. You know, Dr. Bello, she talked about it. You say it, you know, and your body starts to move in that direction and makes it happen. Okay. So, you know, if you can, you know, make it happen, we would love to see you. You know, I am tired of looking at, you know, I love that you guys come onto the chat, but I'm tired of seeing you guys on chat. I want to see you in person. So, if you guys can make that happen, please do. Just a little, you know, shout outs to everyone. Becky Brown, be holding it down in Detroit for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. BB, Roderick Sims, Kalia, Leo Wright, you're in Houston, so I'll be, you know, I have a chance to see you. That'll be, yeah, that's gonna be great. Sharon, I see LL, JoJo, all of you guys, thank you so much for signing in, you know, and checking Dr. Bello and myself out. It's been wonderful. Next week, I'm so sorry. Next week we're going to have Asar Imhotep along with another with Dr. Moo King Gay. Yeah, Dr. Moon King Gay and Asar Imhotep. And they're going to talk about the African philosophy and can it drive economic prosperity for Africans. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be next Friday at 7 p.m. That's it. So I hope that you guys, and not hope, I know you guys are going to have a wonderful week ahead. Be safe. Make sure you do exactly what Dr. Bello said. You know, get some sun, drink some water, take some deep breaths, commune with your ancestors, and we will see you next time. Peace and blessings.
I don't know what we can talk about in this nation without talking about white superiority. Honestly,
Who defines the meaning of God also defines the relationship between economy and God.
African Americans spent $1.3 trillion last year, making us the 16th wealthiest nation in the world. Why have we not turned those riches into wealth to develop our community?